just have to look good. I don't have to be clear. Come and whisper in my ear. Give us dirty laundry. Kick 'em when they're up, kick 'em when they're down. Kick 'em when they're up, kick 'em when they're down. Kick 'em when they're up, kick 'em when they're down. Kick 'em when they're up, kick 'em all around. Got the bubble-headed bleach blonde, comes on at 5. She can tell you about the plane crash with the gleam in her eye. It's interesting when people die. Give us dirty laundry. Can we do the operation? Is the head dead yet? You know the boys in the newsroom got a running bet. Get the widow on the set. We need dirty laundry. You don't really need to find out what's going on. You don't really want to know just how far it's gone. Just leave well enough alone. Eat your dirty laundry. Kick 'em when they're up, kick 'em when they're down. Kick 'em when they're up, kick 'em when they're down. Kick 'em when they're up, kick 'em when they're down. Kick 'em when they're stiff, kick 'em all around. Kick 'em when they're up, kick 'em when they're down. Kick 'em when they're up, kick 'em when they're down. Kick 'em when they're up, kick 'em when they're down. Kick 'em when they're stiff, kick 'em all around. Dirty little secrets, dirty little lies. We got our dirty little fingers in everybody's pie. Love to cut you down to size. We love dirty laundry. We can do the innuendo, we can dance and sing. When it's said and done, we haven't told you a thing. We all know that crap is king. Give us dirty laundry.
Ooh. Okay. That's enough of the kicking. So wait a minute, let me find this right quick. Hold on. Yeah, this is what I wanted to read. Again, these low-life motherfuckers calling CPS, talking about sexual abuse, Y'all motherfuckers will do anything to cause harm or confliction in people's real lives. As I said, I don't care. Anytime a grown motherfucker go after lawsuit, say a lot. What? Hmm. Okay. So you said, uh, what is it? What was it you guys was doing? Oh, a med check or a safety check or y'all? Oh, a wellness check. A wellness check. That's what you was doing. A wellness check. Um, torturing people up and down the YouTube streets in their real lives. Going after people trying to see if they were really in a car accident in their real lives. On the phone trying to get the police to go to people's house in their real life. Wasn't that you? What you call it? What you say? Wait a minute, let me find it. Um, you was calling it a wellness check? You was up and down the streets getting in people's real lives, right? Okay, hold on, hold on.
Are so dangerous. Narcissists, in general, are dangerous individuals to have around. You will suffer mental and physical suffering by being around them. Their manipulative behavior and methods can wear a person down. They are emotionally stunted and incapable of showing sympathy. They couldn't care less if you're feeling low and in need of comfort. Narcissists grow irate when you express yourself and set limitations because they believe they have lost power. These people are a danger to others around them, both mentally and physically. Narcissists are destructive by nature and tend to leave a mess in their way. They're just like the wild, uncouth savages and vicious predators that use you to obtain what they want. As soon as they get it, they will abandon you to starve to death. Just what is it about narcissists and narcissistic relationships that is so risky? When it comes to them, should you be scared? Let's watch today's video and find out. I'll be discussing the 5 main characteristics of narcissists and narcissistic relationships that pose such a threat in today's video. If that piques your curiosity, click the subscribe button to receive notifications of new uploads to my channel, and click the bell icon to ensure you never miss anything. The number 1, narcissists are harmful because they corrupt and undermine their victims' sense of who they are and how they should feel about themselves. They completely uproot a person from their earliest memories. When a victim ends a toxic relationship, They become unrecognizable to themselves. Unfortunately, it takes a long time for people to regain their identity, learn to embrace the truth of their experiences, and begin to reconstruct their sense of self after trauma. Narcissistic abuse, in my perspective, is like having all of one's insides sucked out. The many and varied elements of it. Number 2, the narcissist's deliberate, calculated, and premeditated cruelty. The narcissist's failure to empathize, lack of remorse, eroding boundaries, gaslighting deception, future fake loud bombing, and subsequent devaluation and rejection. They can all drive a person to insanity. A victim of a narcissistic relationship will suffer the most moral injury possible due to the complexities of the partnership's dynamics. It causes brain damage. The damage to their brains prevents them from thinking clearly. Their ability to control their emotions is disrupted and shifted. Everything a person relies on to survive is attacked and destroyed. Narcissistic abuse is terrifying, revolting, and traumatizing because it may cause someone to reach rock bottom when basic tasks like brushing their teeth become impossible. Number 3, narcissists are genuine parasites. Like leeches, narcissists latch onto their hosts and drain their blood. As for the supply, the narcissist drained you of your blood. Only for the sake of feeding on them does a narcissist stay with or retain a supply in their life. Finally, we might ask, what does it make them? In a word, yes, one who preys. Just a predator that feeds only on its victims. Narcissistic partnerships best show predator-prey dynamics. People who are narcissistic perceive you as something to exploit, to take advantage of, and to take. All that matters is how you...
Uh-oh. Hold on. I had to go take some medicine.
useful you are to someone else. Once that's accomplished, you're abandoned, broken, and forgotten, with no idea what happened to you on the inside. What, in your opinion, makes a narcissist so dangerous, before we go on to number 4? In what ways have you seen the world? And do you know, I want to learn more about how these folks operate in various contexts to comprehend better and appreciate them. Please share your thoughts and advice with other survivors and me by leaving a comment below. Number 4, narcissists are totally unconcerned and without any sense of regret for their actions. Neither they nor you perceive their responsibility for your alleged cheating connection with them. Additionally, you suffered all the losses you did because of them. They make you the issue while also justifying their actions to themselves.
Oh, I got more subs over.
You're expected to carry the load alone.
Lip, I didn't even know this. I got more goddamn subs over here on a channel I can't even get into. Okay? Than you do. No, I'm only at 3. No, you got me. I'm 394. I thought it was 4. You can't get 500 subs.
You stand out as the one who is flawed, and the consequences reach well beyond that. It's not just done on an individual basis. You're also subjected to triangulation and a smear campaign at a larger, more systemic level. Your network of friends and acquaintances has been wiped out. It's been taken away from you entirely, and you feel deceived in every possible way. That they feel no need to apologize is a frightening reality. They don't even try to acknowledge that they could have made a mistake and apologize for it. For a survivor, what does it entail? For you, the victim, what does that entail? It entails everlasting anguish, lack of closure, suffering, unresolved rage, and fury that consume.
We spend a lot of time waiting on the internet, waiting for an installer to show up, waiting for our games to download.
Consumes you, and living hell while being here on the planet. Number 5, narcissists like seeing their victims suffer. Witnessing your suffering gives them a sense of power over you. To put it simply, it gives them a sense of authority. They're left with a warm, fuzzy feeling all over. They appear to derive some type of pleasure from seeing you suffer. Unconsciously, this is a defense mechanism against their overwhelming feelings of weakness and lack. From the perspective of the recipient, this must be a terrible ordeal. When a loved one, spouse, friend, parent, etc., takes pleasure in one's suffering, it erodes the victim's sense of confidence in that person. Experiencing something like this is the very worst thing that can happen to a person. Having said all that, it's equally crucial to remember that narcissists are, at heart, insecure people. You shouldn't be terrified of them, since they are the most helpless person you will ever encounter. Understanding why you should avoid these relationships and the psychological damage that you go through, you experience because of them is the only key to keeping yourself safe from the destruction I explained in this video, which is why I made this video, and why I have
You
been
know this
talking
ain't no
about these
marathon. I
things for
say
the
fuck,
past few
suck,
minutes.
cock, and dick over here.
I pray I shed some light on the fundamental aspects of what makes these relationships.
23 ain't on no marathon Sunday. I'm kicking ass this morning. I've been beating ass since 5 this morning, California time. I just dropped over to shout out in your marathon support. I do want to do the pumpkin thing though, okay? I'll come and do the pumpkin thing with you. I'm 100% in on that, okay? I'll carve a dick in a goddamn... I'll carve a cock in a goddamn pumpkin, okay? I'll be there with bells on. Now let me get back to dragging this motherfucking dirty cock-sucking bitch. And I'll see you in the streets, Dovey. Let me finish dragging this goddamn cocksucker.
Lack. From the perspective of the recipient, this must be a terrible ordeal. When a loved one, spouse, friend, parent, etc., takes pleasure in one's suffering,
ain't nobody
it
in
erodes
here.
the victim's sense
Ain't
of
nobody in
confidence
this
in that
bitch.
person. Experiencing something like this is the very worst thing that can happen to a person. Having
Only bad bitches drop down over here, Dovey. Ain't nobody in this fucking chat. They have to answer to their makers if they drop down over here, honey. Over here in the J4K community, they have to answer to somebody if they drop down in my chat. So they won't drop down. They scared of me. They scared of 23. So they won't drop down because they have to answer to their makers. They on a bandwagon. They eat pussy. They eat pussy over here. So I'm beating down on these bitches. Ain't nobody over here but being you, baby. So I'm just dragging the motherfucker. She'll come listen to it. She stay in the bushes. She stay real close to my pussy. She stay real close to 23's pussy. She always here. I'm not concerned. Not in the least bit. But that was
having
funny.
said all that,
Hello,
it's
everyone.
equally crucial to remember that narcissists are, at heart, insecure people. You shouldn't be terrified of them, since they are the most helpless person you will ever encounter. Understanding why you should avoid these relationships and the psychological damage that you go through, you experience because of them is the only key to keeping yourself safe from the destruction I explained in this video, which is why I made this video.
No.
And why I have been talking about these things for the past few minutes. I pray I shed some light on the fundamental aspects of what makes these relationships so dangerous and why it
No,
takes you
they didn't
so
do
long
that.
to heal afterward. And if it is useful to you, please subscribe to my channel so that I can expand and educate as many people as possible. And how you can assist me in this endeavor by responding to this video, giving it a thumbs up,
Oh,
and sharing
you know
it with the
what,
communities
Dovey?
to which you belong.
I
In
forgot.
the next video,
Wait, I didn't fuck my
I'll
ass
elaborate on
again.
this.
Okay, so I forgot I was on StreamYard. And I forgot that I was on a channel that I don't have no control on. So I never should even try to touch it. So, Dovey, I kicked your ass out. I did. Laughing my ass off. That's what I get. I'll see you in the streets, babe. Thanks for coming over.
Further. At least until then, let's focus on
Wait a minute.
What is a cavapoo? Well, you're probably asking yourself that. I mean, we're sweet, sociable, small, silent.
And that was Dovey
You were
Melton,
asking
too. I
that.
kicked your ass out. I did.
Now you are. I mean,
Oh,
I'm
my
a
God. I
cavapoo,
was laughing so
there you
hard. I
go.
about choked. Well, you said hello,
On second
everyone.
thought,
Ain't
that might
fucking
not
nobody
be
gonna drop
much
down this
information
bitch.
as you were looking for.
these are
Bitches
some
know how I
horrible
get
ways
down over here.
narcissists use you to satisfy their sex desire. Today's video will show you why and how narcissists have sexual relationships with other individuals. Like everyone else, narcissists have an incessant urge to gratify their sexual desires. This wish can be satisfied in more than one way. Having sexual relations with a narcissist, however, is risky at best. One of its risks is that it could become addictive. Some of the ways a narcissist could exploit you sexually are listed in this video, and I think you shouldn't miss this. You won't want to miss the big reveal at the conclusion. Narcissists, first and foremost, take great pleasure in dropping a love bomb on their target. Attractive and charismatic people are often sought out by others. This is why narcissists...
No. Okay. That's where I'm sitting my phone. I'm sorry, guys. That's where I'm sitting my phone. It's on me. I got it. I got it.
At best. One of its risks is that it could become addictive. Some of the ways a narcissist could exploit you sexually are listed in this video, and I think you shouldn't miss this. You won't want to miss the big reveal at the conclusion. Narcissists, first and foremost, take great pleasure in dropping a love bomb on their target.
I do it again. I got the plug ran back of my pillow. I do. Mom should put it in front of me. Hold on. Yeah, I'm up in the bed because I got a cold. Shit. Yeah, I'm gonna start to feel better before the darn holiday. Okay, here we go.
A love bomb on their target. Attractive and charismatic people are often sought out by others. This is why narcissists put on a show of charisma to win over their fans. Early in a relationship, narcissists have a foolish feeling of entitlement, believing they are deserving of their partner's admiration and desire. As part of their courtship approach, they plan to treat you like a princess
Midwest. I'm holding my own narc abuse support group meetups. I'll be in Denver, Colorado. September 10th is an actual paint. If you love to paint and sip wine, it's a paint and sip event. Email me so you can register. That is the 10th. Minneapolis, Chicago, Detroit, St. Louis, Cleveland, Kansas City, and I will be in Montego Bay, Jamaica. So if you're interested in attending any of those support groups, please hit me up at ChanelJasmine@gmail.com. Also, at the end of this video, if you feel that you need some coaching to help you identify whether or not you have a narcissistic parent, like you need confirmation, like you suspect that they're toxic, but you're not certain if they're narcissistic, you're welcome to set up a phone consultation with me. I'm very affordable. 15 minutes is $15. 30 minutes is $40. 1 hour is $60. And again, you can set that up through my email, ChanelJasmine@gmail.com. So let's get on with the video. I want to explain to you how your toxic, narcissistic parents set you up to fail in life. How do they set you up in the future? They set you up in your childhood so that in the future, when you become an adult, you are jumping into relationships with abusive narcissists. Okay, so I want to explain something. You guys should be familiar with the term triangulation. Triangulation is the art of staging arguments and fights between two different parties. If you have siblings and if your parents put you against your siblings in any way, if there was any jealousy, competitiveness, and your parents were the cause of it, your parents were narcissistic. Narcissistic parents love to see their children at odds with each other. They love to create insecurities in their children. They do this by saying, your brother looks better in that shirt than you. I'm going to buy your sister more toys than you because you were bad today. They say different things that are hurtful, but also it makes the child jealous of their other sibling. And that's where the insecurities start in the childhood, because the parent is creating those insecurities in the children. And then on top of that, when the children get to fighting with each other, even into their teenage years, where do they run? They're going to run to the narcissistic mommy and daddy. Mom, guess what my brother said to me today? And guess what my sister said? Not knowing that mom and dad started the whole fight. So the narcissistic parents are getting narcissistic supply from watching their children fight each other and run and tell on each other. It's very sick. So narcissists in general, they operate off of a system of triangulation. I don't care if it's your mother, father, your lover, your spouse, they all use triangulation, because triangulation accomplishes the mission of them receiving narcissistic supply from multiple sources at one time. It's like a pig feasting on a giant trough of slop. The narcissist is like getting off on the fact that he or she has created so much drama by having all these different parties go at each other's throat. It's really sick. So your parents, whether it's mom or dad or both, my case, both my parents, they are masters at triangulating their children against each other. And they do this well into adulthood. It doesn't stop in childhood. Your parents will have one favorite child that they gossip to and tell all your business. They'll talk about you like a dog to this sibling. It's just mess. You know, the parent is very insecure, and they feel better when they start these problems between their children, and their children can run back to them and report back like, Mom, can you believe my sister said this? And Mom, can you believe my brother did this? Yeah, Mom started everything, but she's getting off on the fact that she stirred the pot, and she's got her children fighting like dogs. It's really sick, guys. So let me just I'm gonna draw a picture for you guys. Just hold on a second. Here's a triangle. I'm drawing a triangle, right? Now, this illustration is going to show you how your parents set you up to get into toxic relationships in your adulthood. Here, you know, this is a triangle. We know a triangle has 3 points. Point number 1, point number 2, and point number 3. You guys follow me? So you are going to be point number 1. I'm going to put you up here. I'm going to put you up here because you are close to God. That's the sunshine. You are anointed and you are close to the sun. You are an anointed child of God. So I'm going to put you at the very top. Spot number 2, right here. This is going to be your parents, mom and dad, right? Mom and dad. Who goes in point number 3? Who do you think goes in point number 3? Who do you think
Siblings.
goes at the third point?
Siblings.
That third point is going to be whoever you get into a relationship with as an adult.
Oh.
A baby mama, a baby father,
Oh.
a toxic wife, a toxic husband. It is your future abuser. So I'm going to put future abuser. Okay? So now we have 3 points. You're at the first point. The second point is your mother and father. It could be one or the other. It could be both of them. They're narcissists, okay? And the third point is your future lover, who is also an abuser. Y'all follow me?
Yeah.
Mom and dad, when you were a child, you ran to them for everything. When you were a child, your parents, they were grooming you. Now, there's multiple forms of abuse. Your parents could definitely emotionally abuse you by neglecting you, which means they could both be in a household. They both could be great providers. Mom could have dinner cooked every night. Dad is working hard to pay all the bills to make sure you guys have clothes, food, and everything, bills and mortgages paid. However, there is an emotional disconnect in the house. Dad doesn't know how to love. Dad might be verbally and physically abusive towards the children and his wife. There's domestic violence in the household. And mom, because she's narcissistic or toxic codependent, she decides to stay with your father, knowing he's abusive, knowing he's an asshole, knowing he's a cheater, liar. And she thinks she's doing this because we need to stick together as a family. But she doesn't realize she's doing more damage to her children by staying with an abusive man. And what happens, she stays with him over the years, she endures the abuse, and her children end up resenting her for that. And then now they go out into the world and they start attracting people like their abusive father. Okay? If it's a daughter and her daughter witnessed her get beat by her father, then that daughter, you're going to grow up attracting men like your abusive father. Okay? Fellas, if mama would not leave daddy, even though he abused her, there's a high probability that you will turn into an abusive asshole that beats on women and cheats because you saw your mama do it. Or you will turn into a man that attracts abusive women. You could be a really sweet guy and you keep getting into relationships with abusive women, okay? Because your mother was an enabler, and through her actions, she made domestic violence tolerable and acceptable in the household when it shouldn't have been. She should have left a long time ago and taught her children self-respect, taught her children that she respects herself, taught her children the proper way that love is to be received and processed. So mama never loved herself. If there's a situation where mama is the dominant one, she's running a household and daddy's too weak, mama's the narcissist, and daddy, he fights her. Like, my parents always got into fist fights, but it wasn't a case of my father was whooping my mother's ass. My mother fought like a dude. She was fighting my father like a man in the streets. And my father, with his feminine self, was fighting her like he was another woman in the street. He wasn't whooping my mother's ass. They were fighting like two men. My mother was very masculine. She was very dominant in the house, whereas my father was feminine. But they both were very toxic. They both were narcissistic. And because they exposed this for a very long time in front of me and my siblings, and I'll speak for myself, when I became became an adult, I started attracting men with the same personality types as my mother and father. Okay? And when your parents are narcissistic, they don't give a fuck about you. Like I said, y'all don't want to accept the truth. Narcissists do not get their mates pregnant because they love them. Narcissists impregnate their lover to trap them. You understand? They want to trap their lover with a baby to further control and manipulate and abuse the next 18 years. So you were conceived out of manipulation, not love. It's a hard pill to swallow. Then when you realize that you grew up in an abusive home, and again, abuse comes in different forms. Your parents could have provided, but there was no emotional connection, no emotional support. They didn't protect you. How many of y'all have been in an abusive relationship? You told your parents about it. They didn't protect you. All they said was, well, don't go back to them. Check this out. You move in with your future lover who happens to be an abuser. Let's just say you either move in with them, you get pregnant, move in with them, or you get married and move in with them. You start tolerating abuse with your lover. And you maintain a relationship with your toxic parents while you're in this abusive relationship. You know what's going to happen? What's going to happen when this relationship, you can't take no more of the abuse and you seek to get out of it or get a divorce? You're on the phone telling your family all your business. But you're financially responsible or dependent. You share all the bills and everything. You're entangled with your abuser. So you're fighting to get out of this relationship, whether you tell your parents or not. When you finally do escape, whether you have kids or not, when you finally do escape, you're going to be in some type of financial difficulty because it's expensive to move, buy a new place, what have you, but you want out. Chances are, if you escape, where are you going to run? A lot of people run back where? They run back home to mommy and daddy. They go from this frying pan and they jump into this frying pan. They go from one abuser back to their original abuser. Mommy and daddy are your original abusers. They are narcissistic. They trained you and programmed you to have no boundaries so that when you grow up, abusive people can run in and out of your life. Abusive friends, abusive lovers can run in and out. You have no boundaries. They're weak. They've taught you to be codependent, to tolerate abuse, not only stay in a relationship, but to tolerate the abuse, because that's what they normalized in their household, in their relationships, and their children witnessed it. 3, they trained you to be silent, to be scared to speak up when you're being abused. And 4, they didn't teach you survival skills. You had to learn everything once you moved out. So when things go bad with your lover, you got to run back home and move in with mommy and daddy. And guess what? They get to regain control over you. That is the plan. They set you up to fail from day one, and they've been programming you like this since you were a child. Now, if you need me to coach you and help you figure out if your mom and dad is narcissistic or not, please get in touch with me to schedule your consult today. This has been the Spiritual Whistleblower. God bless you guys.